Good day everybody, how are y'all doing? In this upcoming video, I get the opportunity here at my house to interview one of my great buddies. My buddy Dave Tiller, one of the Lucky Seven. You hear Dave's own personal account of what happened in the 24 hours leading up to, as well as the 50 plus hours that Dave and the other 6 members of the Elite Navigator endured. So please enjoy this video, and as I always say, like and subscribe to my channel. Start off, I'm here with my good buddy, Mr. Davey Tiller. Most people know the name by now. We had an opportunity yesterday, Dave. I guess we can probably start off by telling what we did yesterday. And we're both wearing a good friend of ours, his shirt, or not his shirt, but his name, his logo, his brand on our hoodies. Premier Fury.
Yeah.
Man, he's been unreal, haven't he?
Unbelievable.
What he's been doing, and just his, on a personal level, not the government level, but just as a person, as a friend, as a personal friend to you and the boys, it's just been unreal.
Yeah, he's like a brother that we never had.
I tell you, man, it's just been unreal. But anyway, yeah, we had an opportunity. Dave was into the Confederation building yesterday, and thank you for the invite to go in with you.
Yeah, no problem.
The Lucky Seven was recognised in the House of Commons yesterday.
Yeah.
By all ministers. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
The NDP, the Independent, the PC party, and the Liberal Party, as well as just everybody that was in there, man. They were just so warm, so welcoming to you, weren't they?
Yeah.
And Dave went there and represented the other 6 crew members.
Yeah.
And anyway, today what we're going to do is something that I've wanted to do when time allowed, and time has allowed now. We got a chance to get together. I wanted to get, and this is for me too, because I don't know the full story. I'd love to hear, and God love you for doing this. I'd love for you to explain the lead up, say the 24-hour period, to what happened with you guys and the boat, and then of course we all in this province and everywhere else, all over the world, who were so captivated and was so interested in what was going on and so concerned about you guys. What happened leading into the loss of the Elite Navigator, and then, thank God, you're the outcome. You're here with me.
Yeah, we started that morning with some nets left back in the pound, turbine nets there, and then we had 90 nets left to take aboard, so we had 30 in one fleet and 60 in another. So we got
sorry, buddy. How long were you out? That you were out now? I guess to start off, you left from Wesleyville, went out through, and you were out what, 200? No, probably not that far.
I think, if my memory serves me correct, about 137 miles.
Okay, so you were out there now a good few days fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead again.
We had our 5 days fishing in. We got up in the morning, nice, beautiful morning. Water's pretty civil. We had our coffee and a bite to eat for breakfast, and went out on deck, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day taking gear aboard. So we had 30 nets to take aboard, and then we had 60 nets left in another fleet. We had 30 left aboard. So anyway, we started our day out like it should be, and everything was all going good. Turbot wasn't too bad for, I should say, for what time of year it was. And we time we got the mooring up and got the first few nets aboard, and I had another bite to eat around 1 o'clock or 1:30. That was all good to go. We took it to the other fleet after we had something to eat. And I'm guessing it was probably around 7, maybe 6:30 that night with everything all aboard. And with our chickens in the oven, the fries was all done. and Eugene was just making up the gravy.
Yes, boy.
So anyway, I decided I would go up in the wheelhouse and open the top half of the door, and because I like to have me smoke. So I pretty much had most of my cigarette gone, and I looked over at the alarm. The alarm was buzzing. I said, "Uh-oh." And Eugene said, "No." He said, "What that's?" No, he said, "What's that?" No, just the torment.
Just getting ready to have your supper.
So we didn't know if there was too much water and the fish on the bilge, or we didn't know what was going on.
So you could hear an audible alarm going off, or you just see it flashing?
Yeah, I was looking straight at the alarm when she went off.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so Eugene checked it out, and he heard the cracking, and then before we knew it, the boys all up the hatch for the engine room.
Holy shit.
And she ignited with the oxygen, and that was just bang, abandoned ship.
Wow.
A couple of boys left down the forecastle, and without knowing, there was a couple emergency suits left down in the forecastle, and there was no time to hesitate, only, just abandon ship.
So was the whole engine room? The engine room was engulfed?
Everything was all engulfed, and so within time, I'm guessing that the wires to the black box and everything just bang.
Just disintegrated, the heat, yeah?
She did go with a bang, so between Eugene and Toby, they tried to get Maydays out 3 times, nothing happened.
Go away, man.
Yeah, and so besides that, I managed to get Arrow up on top of the wheelhouse, and he had to help me get up because I couldn't jump or do anything. So Arrow got me up, and as soon as I got on top of the wheelhouse, everything, all the smoke was just pushing to the southwest there with the wind, a little bit of wind we did have, which wasn't very much. So then the boys went and got the life raft, 2 life rafts ready, tied them on. 2 fellows aboard that couldn't swim, Arrow and Toby.
Yeah.
So they didn't have any emergency suits.
So that's the 2 that never had any?
No.
But you managed, yourself and the rest of the boys managed at least to get them on as quick as you could?
Yeah. So that was our first plan. We got the life rafts overboard. Then, at that time, I noticed down on the deck of the boat there was 2 emergency suits. So I took my boots off, and I got into my emergency suit. And I'm trying to remember I think it was me and Andy was left on the deck of the boat. It was left down to me to jump off. I was back by the turbine nets on the boat there. And so I had a little bit of fear to jump. I knew I had to jump, but when I looked to my left before I made the last tap and to make the actual jump, I looked to my left, and there comes the big fireball just busting right down through the back wall.
Go away, buddy.
So there's that was the frightening part, and I said no. I said I got 2 kids on land. I said I get to get on to them.
Wow.
So when I jumped off, me and Andy was still there, clung onto the life raft. The flankers, smoke, everything was just towering right over, and flankers come down the canopy of the life raft. It was just like watching rush hour. It was
crazy, man.
Crazy.
Coming down like you see snow.
Yes.
Big flurries.
Yeah. So,
and that all coming towards you. Did you say there was 2 life rafts or 1 life raft?
There was 2 life rafts, but the more the boat got engulfed in flames with the wind blowing to the southwest, the life raft that wasn't tied on, we tried to get to that life raft after, but it was too risky to get to it, because we were, in our own minds, we were trying to think with more comfort that with the 7 or 8 man life raft we had, instead of having all 7 of us in there, we were going to try and get 3 people out in the other one. We tied the 2 of them together to make it comfort. But no, that was the option. We didn't get to that life raft. It was too risky.
Yeah, and just everything happening so quick. You never had time to think.
No,
it was just from the first initial, from the alarm to the time that you were in that life raft. What, 10 minutes maybe?
Yeah. So anyway, but we had to get the boat up around the bow to stay away from most of the fire that was happening. So we managed to get but roughly about half a mile from the boat.
Yeah. So,
So
how did you do that? Just paddling with your arms?
but the thing was that as soon as I got into the life raft and I started counting, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that was my biggest fear if we lost
Had
one
someone left
person,
behind.
because I tell you, if something happened that one of us went missing, I'd say no, I'd have to jump overboard again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
So you're in the life raft. You're moved away. As I was saying, I guess you paddle away when you're in the life raft. You're just paddling away with your hands, or did you use the small paddles that's in the survival kits? As we were talking about it yesterday, I had the opportunity to do MEDs back a good few years ago, but I do have an understanding of what it is to be in those life rafts. I have an understanding of having the fear of jumping into the water. And so I do have a background in that. So when you were saying that you moved away from the boat, was that how you did it? You just manually use your hands, or you just let the tide move you away from the boat?
Well, Andy didn't get into the life raft right away because he was kicking with his feet
Oh,
to
okay.
get away.
Yeah.
And that was at that time that Eugene asked for my opter to take one of the paddles.
Yeah, because there's paddles in the survival kits. For those people that don't know, the survival kits that's in those life rafts inside of the canisters.
So I was paddling with Eugene to get roughly about half a mile from her, and like I said, we tried to get that other life raft, but that was too bad.
Yeah.
Couldn't do nothing with it, so we just bared with it, and they said all 7 of us was in the life raft, so that was
In the one.
That was the main concern. We had everybody,
Yeah.
and so besides that, when we got all settled away, and we just there was maybe a couple hours there where we just the boys just sat in the life raft, and me and Eugene just sat on the rubber part there with a little small screen door open.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were watching the boat burn.
Wow.
So
She just slowly burning.
Slowly burning. So we went to sleep anyway that night. I don't know if everybody got to sleep. I know I slept exceptionally well. But we got up next morning, and I said to Eugene, I said, where is the boat too?
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what it was like outside. So when I unzipped the screen door, and I couldn't believe it. The boat was just there, the same thing as if we never moved 5-10 feet away
Go
from
away. So she was still next to you.
She was still next to us, yeah.
Wow. It's just smoldering.
Yeah, she was. You couldn't see no fire or such, but just
There was nothing left to her, I guess. So just a shell, pretty much. Everything inside internally gone.
You could see the sides that were left up on her, a nice bit there, but at that time, I don't know if she burned through, but I'm thinking that once we lost her in the fog, that was when I'd say between all the heavy fire, she must have bust through one of the true walls, and with the 20 boxes of ice that we had in her, or 19, plus the almost 31,000 pound of turbot.
Wow.
And it took a lot to put that boat down, but with fire, I'd say she just went to bottom.
So with Dave, I guess after that first day and initial of all this just happening so quick, and survival, get out, and then once you're in the life raft and you know that everybody's okay and you're settled, I guess then the next part is, okay, well, now survival. How, in the sense of being picked up, how are we going to be seen, or what's next? Were there no EPIRB? You couldn't get a Mayday out?
No, and we never thought about taking our cell phones, because if we took our cell phones, and we also had, I'm trying to remember the name of it now.
Probably like a satellite pack or something like that, was it?
It was one. We had something on board that Eugene could use there for.
Could be a Spotify, or not Spotify. Sorry, a spot locator.
I remember the look of it, but I just trying to remember the name of it, because you could you could
send a mayday on it.
You could send a text out, or you could still get.
Yeah, it might be a spot. What's called actually, or Garmin, something like that. Yeah.
But we never had no chance for nothing. We couldn't get deeper. There's too much smoke in the wheelhouse, and it was getting risky. And with all the smoke, I mean, we couldn't take any chances on him, you know. And the thing is, once we got into the life raft, I mean, our heads was just spinning, like, just to focus on to do everything that we had to do. And so even that night, we were still talking, you know, I mean, boys, well, we got this gone, we got that gone.
Thinking about the things that you've lost.
Thinking about things that we lost. And Eugene looked at me one point and he said, Davey, he said, what about your guitar?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my son, I just fell right up to that.
That's kind of almost leading into another part of the story, hey? But I think most people knows what the other part of the story was. How I mentioned to, on a side note, how I mentioned that Dave lost his guitar, and what was it, 36 people? I'm trying to remember the numbers now.
64.
64.
Yes.
36, I'm wrong. 64 people e-transferred. I tell it now like it is, almost $2,900. And you got your beautiful Taylor guitar, and you're wearing the Taylor hat.
I'm wearing the Taylor hat, yeah.
And that came out of the videos that I was posting. But anyway, Dave, getting back to what we were saying. Okay, the boat has gone out of sight, black with fog. Yeah. As we'd say here in Newfoundland, is black with fog, thick as pea soup. Yeah. And of course, your visibility is gone. And did you hear? Could you hear planes? Could you hear boats in the fog?
From the first night we're in the life raft, I'm pretty sure it was planes that we were in, going over. Probably. Because we knew, like, well, if there was somebody coming up for us, it would be search and rescue. So it would be a chopper, which chopper would sound a lot louder if she was close to us. But
with the visibility.
With the visibility of the fog, I mean, we couldn't do nothing, just hope and pray for the best, you know. And
so Dave, that life raft that you're in, I guess you were like this. 7 people sat across each other, legs over each other. It was a small life raft, wasn't it? Say what, 8 man, 12 man?
I think if I remember right, it was 8 man raft.
8 man raft, yeah.
For 7 people.
It's pretty tight, buddy.
That was pretty tight, and it was uncomfortable, you know. But we
had to do what you had to do.
A couple of boys, they're like Andy and Jordan. They were the bigger fellows, so we had to balance them out in the raft, and everybody else get comfortable around. So
they had no survival. There was 2. You said Andy, was it? And was it Jordan? Both of those that never had survival suit.
Andy was in the survival suit, and Jordan. But the emergency suits. There was Errol and Toby, the 2 that couldn't swim, never had the emergency suits on.
Never had the emergency suits on.
Yeah.
Not the most comfortable. I've heard stories from yourself of the condensation, the dew.
Yeah.
Just 7 men inside of a rubber container is the best way to explain it. And nothing but condensation. And I guess in the deck, the lower section completely flooded with water. And you're sat in that how many hours before?
52 hours.
52 hours from the time you left that boat.
Yeah, because we were even taking up little cups and containers of water, and like from the dew and everything, and what was just soaking away from our suits and everything from getting into the life raft first starting. I was it wasn't comfortable for the boys, because I mean they just had to sit there and like they had to pull on little. I guess what you could call it was is almost like a little tarp kind of blanket or something that you could cover yourself in, and the boys with clothes and everything on. But the only thing that we could do to keep the boys comfortable, I mean, there was at times I had Toby on me hip, cuddled into Earl and trying to keep his body warm, and it was just outrageous. And I know at one point Robbie took top part of his suit down and took his dry t-shirt and gave to Toby there. But with the humidity and the life raft, I'd say within 5 to 6 hours, Toby's t-shirt was soaking wet again.
Soaking wet again, yeah.
So into the second night, Toby he said, boys, I don't even know if he said, I'm going to make it.
Oh, man.
Because he said it was torturous what he had to go through, to shivering and shaking right to bit.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is the reason, Dave, that I wanted to do this video, is because people don't know, including myself, and I'm one of your best buddies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, I know 1% of the story.
Yeah.
And there's something that I always wanted to ask you ever since the summer, ever since this occurred. I'd love to hear the story. And with what you're describing and explaining, it doesn't even give it justice to what you guys actually went through.
That's the thing is, everybody's trying to picture how everything all happened, but
It's impossible.
you got to be there to see it. Yeah.
This is why this recognition yesterday was so important. And again, I'm so honored and so proud to be sat next to you as your buddy. And you were there as a representative of the Lucky Seven.
Yeah.
And how you guys were recognized yesterday. God love them for doing it. It's worthy of being recognized.
Yeah.
You know yourself, Dave, that the outcome of these scenarios is not very good.
No.
And you guys are all here and you're all healthy and you're alive. You survived that ordeal. So getting back into it again, okay, you're into it 50 hours. The day of rescue. Can you give me an idea, or explain to me what happened on that day?
That day we had a couple flares left. Well, the fog was opening up, then it would close in again. So we didn't really know if it was going to open up with blue sky and stay that way, because we were open and praying for that miracle. That's what we wanted, was a blue sky. And this was while getting up into, it was dark anyway. So anyway, I think it was the Coast Guard that noticed, or maybe it might have been the chopper, that seen something vanish into the water, but it happened too quick. They were thinking it might have been a flare, but they couldn't say for sure. So we were left down to just the one flare.
One flare. When you're talking about flares, before we go any further, are you talking about shoot up flares or bang and handheld?
It was a handheld flare, just pull, bang.
Okay, these are ones that
out.
would shoot up.
Shoot up.
This is not like the handheld ones that you see phosphorus and you hold them up like that and they just burn in your hand. No, these are actual flares that would shoot up into the sky. Is that right? Okay.
Yes. And so I was looking at all the boys there, and they were exhausted. Eugene was like somebody in a trance. He didn't know if he was ready to come or go. He was that tired.
Yeah.
And me being the type of person that I was, yes, no doubt, I had lots of sleep that day. And I was just looking at the boys. Well, I said, there is still hope left. And I don't pray very often. But I felt, I was looking over at Eugene with one flare left in his hand.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the chopper was going down far enough east, but not enough to the north. But the thing was, we weren't really looking out as such. But I heard the chopper in the distance. And I felt her coming closer. The rumble was getting closer all the time. And the boys were just exhausted. Pretty much sleep is how I can say it. And I was still looking at Eugene with that one flare. And after I said the Lord's Prayer for 30 seconds, I opened up my eyes and I said, you know what? There's something feels a lot brighter. So when she got pretty much where the sound just directly over us.
Wow.
I made the ball. I said, Eugene. I said, far off that flare. I said, the chopper's right over us. He opened up and fired off and just bang. instantly, within 5 minutes or 10, the chopper was over us, and you couldn't hear nothing. We was all born with excitement.
Yeah.
That was going crazy. Like it was happy anxiety moment. That's exactly what it was. So anyway, within 5 minutes, I know the diver. There was a diver that came into the boat, which I got his.
He must have came down Sartec from the chopper, didn't he?
Yeah, he was Sartec, diver from the chopper.
God love the 103, but at a gander.
And
Halifax.
And little did I know that at that time when the diver came in, I didn't know he was. And so we spoke to Eugene for a couple of minutes, and he said, "Everybody good back here?" And he said, "Was there anybody that needs medical attention?"
Was this still during daylight or is this dark now?
This was dark.
Okay.
I'm guessing pretty close that the time was about 10 after 12 or 12:15.
Oh, okay, at night, yeah, of course, yeah.
At night, and we was all excited and wanted to get out. And so the diver, Jason Maloney, that was there talking to us.
Okay.
He was talking to Eugene. He said, "Boys," he said, "hang on tight. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes, could be 20. He said, "Well, we'll get you out." He just started trying to get the FRC, everything in place.
So
for you to get out.
am I wrong by saying the Anne Harvey was close?
The NRV was there. We did not know that.
Oh, okay, which is a Canadian Coast Guard vessel, for anybody that doesn't know that.
Yeah. So we had an option to go in on the chopper or the Telias.
Oh, okay, so the Telias, of course, was around.
So we had six out of 7 that smoked. And Earl said, "No, boy, no, not going in on chopper." He said, "You can't smoke on that one." He said, "But anyway," he said, "we're going on Telias instead."
All hands getting the smokes.
Yeah. So that was our big sign of relief. We were alive, and then, next time was, get aboard the FRC, get aboard the Coast Guard. We had our vitals checked, and people was on the phone for the first time.
So
wondering if we were alive.
When the chopper was there, and the Sartec was down talking to you, obviously communication right away to the Coast Guard. I think a lot of people have probably seen that video from the wheelhouse. I don't know if it was in the Anne Harvey or the Telias, one of them. All have been found. All are safe. So obviously they sent the FRC. They came alongside. FRC was there. Was the chopper still when the FRC came? The chopper's probably still hovering around.
Yeah.
And then the FRC came, and you guys all got out and got in the fast rescue craft.
Yeah, the search and rescue helicopter. She hovered over us till we were into the FRC.
Here's a question. I wonder, did they take the raft back? Did they take the raft and put her on board ship?
The last that we heard about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was a couple of days before we got our tattoo into the shop during Gander, Dream Deep Inc. They were saying that the life raft was in Gander at that time.
Oh, go away. Yeah, because I think that's usually the protocol, right? They'll take that back as a part of their investigation, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, you got aboard the fast rescue craft, and then you went to the Telias.
Yeah. And then they took us off board, and they all welcomed, hugs coming at us, and everybody was happy, relieved, and everything, and we were starved to eat, and we got a shower, jumped.
No clothing, everything you had was soaking wet, and I guess they all give you clothing because I remember when I was there in Valleyfield, you were all wearing Coast Guard issue T-shirts, and you all had your hard hats on and pants and everything. I guess obviously they provided you with all that.
T-shirt and pants, and they provided us with the Crocs. Everybody was friendly on board, done possibly everything that they could do for us.
Meals, showers, and full access to the cell phones and to the satellite phones or whatever. And getting back to when I'm thinking about one of the videos, how I mentioned that where Art, my wife's brother-in-law, and your father are really good friends. Yeah. And Art was talking to your dad that following morning. And that's where that story come about, that Davey was talking to his father, and Davey said, 2 days without a smoke, and I lost my guitar. I'll never forget those words. I remember when Art told me, and it was true. You guys were en route then, and then was it on a Saturday you came in? I think it was. I think it was a Saturday.
It was Friday night
when you were found.
We were picked up, and then Saturday is when the Coast Guard came as far as the Shag Rock and dropped their anchor, and we got a picture out on the back deck with all the.
That's right. That's a famous picture now.
So then, we took whatever we had there, we landed Glen for like the suits, immersion suits, everything that we had. We got all that back.
Oh, okay.
And then they got us into the FRC, and that's when we made our way to the floating dock.
I don't think that you were expecting the crowd, or probably you were expecting the crowd that was there.
I was overwhelmed. I was in shock, and I said, like, no way. I said, like, what just happened for us to receive this kind of appreciation and everything.
Well, like I said earlier, and like the Premier said yesterday, most of these stories in time over the years and years and years of lost souls off the coast of this province, most of these stories are not having this outcome.
Yeah.
You guys are so lucky, and that's where the name came from, the Lucky Seven, because you guys were lucky.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky. You're still here.
And the thing is, like, when you go to try and tell us some part of the story, like, if you do stop, there is no words to describe. How can you can tell your story, but there's just no words to describe it, right?
No. When you're there, and I heard Dave's stories of you trying to keep the spirits up, because that's the type of a person that you are. Yeah. And you were using a flashlight, like you were singing karaoke and stuff like that, and just trying to keep the energy there, keeping the spirits up. And that's another thing too that I applaud you for, and I say everybody else applaud you for, is you guys were going through a hard time, and anything to try to keep the spirits up.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely, I'm at a loss for words with, trying to think of what you guys endured. And also all the training, I think all the training in the world too, still, when you're facing these scenarios and you got split seconds to think, yes, training obviously helps, very much so. Yeah. But also just when you're dealing with it and you're faced with the scenario that what you guys had, one of the biggest things I think, Dave, that you had in your favor, if there was any big sea, I wouldn't be talking to you now. The sea state was in your favor, and I think, like you said it, everybody said it, thank you to the Coast Guard, thank you to all the local fishermen as well that were there. Yeah. They were there to help. The Coast Guard, the 103 search and rescue. All right. It's just. Anyway, I guess that's on the closure here to our video. I wanted to get Dave to share this story for me, but I wanted to, not only for me, I wanted for people to see it. Here we are months later, and like I said, the actual story wasn't really known. Yeah. And this is Mr. Dave Tiller's, my good buddy's story of those 50 plus hours that you didn't know if you were going to see tomorrow. No. Didn't know if you were going to see your mother or father, your children, etc., etc. I'll never forget how happy I was when I heard the story, when my wife woke me. I'll never forget it. Oh my God, she said, they're all found. Yeah. I said, what? Half stunned, half in a daze. And then I went in on, like most people did, went in on Facebook, and you could see the motorcades of all the cars down, I think it was down around Carmenville, I'm not exactly sure, or Musgrave Harbour, and all down around Valleyfield. You could hear car horns, you could see the videos, same thing in Greenspan. Yeah. It was a celebration, still is a celebration. Yeah. So anyway, buddy, thank you so much for doing this. No problem. And I'm heading to Newtown with Dave tomorrow for the weekend. And we'll have a few tunes for sure, hey, boy?
Yes, belt 'em out.
Thank you so much, bud.
You're welcome. Anytime.